Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Unloaded podcast, where we'll be covering Drag Race All Stars 9, Episode 9, The Rusical. It's your girl, Keeks.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Brandon.
And again, welcome to the next episode of Reality Unloaded podcast. We are past the halfway point of this season, and we got an amazing Rusical today, guys. Well, not today, on Friday. But it's been really good. Honestly, one of the best ones in Drag Race Herstory, if I may say so myself. Really just overall great production, great drag as well, because the runway was spectacular. Chef's kiss. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into the episode. So we start off the episode with obviously Angie being the last one to get snipped. Obviously, like Roxy makes it clear. I'm here to make it clear. Oh no, I didn't mean to set that up like that. I'm sorry. But she makes it clear that her and Angie were going back at each other. Like she snipped her twice. She got Angie back twice. Like it is what it is. They ended it on a good note. And they expected it. Angie says that they're the definition of scissor sisters. And in the same conversation, Nina points out, like, hey, Plastique, you haven't won any money yet for your charity. And Plastique's like, no, I haven't. Which was crazy. I was like, dang, she really hasn't. She's lost every lip sync so far. But
every single one.
Every single one. And it's not that Plastique is not a good performer, y'all. Like, she can hold her own. But, you know, finally there was one lip sync that she finally knew the words, and she still lost to Roxy because Roxy ate that up. But she says that she's going for the 200K. I believe it. I could see Plastique being at the end, honestly, at this point. But of course, you got to win those lip syncs to get the 200K. So we'll see how that goes. And then moving on from here, we get a Rue mail the next day. Rue pretty much leaves like a message saying, like, here's a hot tip in showbiz. You don't have to sell to get ahead. You don't have to sell your soul to get ahead. You can sell some, fill in the blank instead. The devil made me say that. And she's obviously laughing evilly. The queens are confused, just as confused as us. I was like, what is happening? I didn't get the message. I'm sure. Were y'all also confused by the Rue mail?
I like when I saw it, I knew I had to do something with like maybe horror films or something, but from seeing what they produced out of it, it made sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving on from the Rue mail, Rue comes into the room and says, oh, we are doing the Rusical, baby, and it's going to be Rosemarie's baby shower, not Rosemary's baby, because of copyright purposes, I would assume. So she says Rosemarie's baby shower. And she prefaces it by saying, all dancing, sinking, psychological thriller about New Yorkers willing to sell their souls for a decent apartment. Listen, if you live in the tri-state area, New York City or North Jersey, you know the rent is super duper high. I think any of us would really do anything for some good rent. Okay, I miss that rent. That below $1,000 rent for a 1-bedroom. Yeah, we haven't seen that in a long time.
Anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore. They charging $1,800 for freaking 1-bedroom. Sometimes studios, y'all. That's what we going through out here. So if you got that subsidized housing apartment or whatever the case may be, keep it. Don't lose it. Keep it in the family. All right, so Rue explains that the queens are going to be working with Michelle and composer David Steinberg on the vocals and Miguel Zarate on the choreo. And then Wigs and Grace is actually the sponsor for the queens so that they don't have to use their own wigs, which is also good. And then Rue drops the ball that the 2 top queens this week will receive 2 benefactress badges, one to keep and one to gift away to another queen. How did y'all feel about this moment? Starting with you, Michael. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked the twist, and I like that they were able to give one away. I feel like again, it's just adding to the whole plot. I feel like the plot of this season just gets thicker and thicker. I was into it.
Yeah, I feel like now comes a point where there's like strategy into did you make friends from the very beginning and how did you treat them, because it's going to turn around back on you. So I thought it was smart to do. I think they're giving out badges left and right, but it's interesting to see how everything is adding up for certain people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Rue also emphasizes in the same breath, like Queen can still make it to the top three. So, like you said, Brendan, they're definitely gonna be giving these badges away like nothing. They're gonna be passing it out like candy. And obviously the queens are going crazy, like, oh, wait, how are we gonna do this? Who do we Plastique's going through all the mathematical equations in their head, like going spiraling at some point. But yes, I do appreciate that they shook it up a little bit. So then we get to the queens picking the musical roles, and pretty much it goes fairly well. Nobody's really like fighting for a role. And we'll run through those real quick. So Gottmik ends up choosing Blair, which is from The Exorcist. And then Georges ends up picking Morgan, which is a reference to Megan. Then Plastique ends up being Rosemarie. Roxy ends up being Pennywise instead of Pennywise. Chanel ends up being Sydney. And then Vanjie ends up being Rosemarie's baby. And then pretty much the main ones that are like going back and forth on the role that they want to do are Angeria and Nina for Dr. Poltergeist. And Vanjie has this funny moment where she's like, let me ask the spirits, child. And they talking to me, girl.
Vanjie was funny this episode. Can I just
Vanjie is so funny. Vanjie, you are so great at narrating the season. Like, honestly, I really feel like Vanjie, like, I guess like Vanjie's just a great person to have, like, that also mirrors the audience's reaction. So I really do enjoy that overall. But they end up like not doing an audition. Well, actually, let me ask y'all that. Would y'all have made the queens audition for the role, or do you think they were better off doing this, like, chance thing with the hat?
I mean, it's always nice to see the competition, so I would have made them audition personally.
Yeah, same. You're gonna have to show me your skills. You want it that bad. Let's see. In my opinion, like I would have, yeah, I would have made them audition for sure.
And Angie even says it. She goes, "Come on, girl, you want to do community service or something? Like, help me out." But or charity, help me out. But ultimately it goes to Nina. Nina ends up taking the role for Dr. Poltergeist, and that's it. So then Angeria ends up being Ruth, which is Chanel's counterpart as like the landladies who are trying to deceive Rosemarie to sign the lease with her husband, etc. But again, I'll just go over the roles again. So Angeria is Ruth, Gottmik is Blair, Georges is Morgan, Nina is Dr. Poltergeist, Plastique is Rosemarie, Roxy is Pennywise, Chanel is Sydney, and then Vanjie is Rosemarie's baby, the devil. All right, so we move on. And we see the queens obviously again getting to work with Michelle, David Steinberg, and Miguel Zarate. I felt like it was fairly quick. Angie was struggling the most to keep her ass away, which I thought was funny. It just obviously proves that they're there for a long time going through these things, and they're probably waking up at the ass crack of dawn to do all of these things on top of confessionals and whatever else they have to film. And then
can I also just say these steps, the choreography was hard. That was probably
definitely
some of the hardest choreo that I've seen ever. I want to say, like, it was for professionals.
Really, I don't know if it's the hardest choreo I've seen. but it was challenging. I feel like there's been another musical where they had really tough choreography as well. Yeah, but whatever, I can't remember right now. But I do agree it's tough. And we see that, like, obviously Vanjie struggling a little bit with the word with the words when she's doing her song. And then we see Nina and Chanel were the main ones struggling with the choreo, like they couldn't keep up. But Miguel was honestly like a really good choreographer and instructor, because Miguel had a lot of patience. And in general, like, I don't have a teacher spirit. I don't know about y'all, but he had a lot of patience. Did you guys feel a little bit worried or concerned for any of the queens at this moment? How about you, Michael?
Yeah, so when Vanjie kept messing up on this word, I was like, Vanjie, come on, you got it. You're so close. Like, and she just kept saying the same thing. But I feel you, Vanjie, because that's definitely like my mind, and that's how it works too. Like, once you have a certain way that something's said in your mind, like it just stays. So I get it, but I was a little worried for Vanjie. I was like, damn. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she pulled it through. She pulled it through. But I was like, get this word right, girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was worried for Nina, because I know this is Nina's gig. So her with the choreography, I was like, I hope she doesn't like mess up, especially during this week, because this is her thing. So
Right. All right, so we move on from them obviously getting the recordings and the choreo down, and we go to the main stage. Rue, you look stunning. This color on you, I love. The earrings, beautiful. I did find it interesting that, like, on the actual image of all the entire panel, all women's panel, um the dress looks pink, but it's actually like a light baby blue. But again, Rue looks stunning. I think honestly everybody looks very lovely. Everyone looks like sun tans, like kissed. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't really know our guest judge, Christine W, but maybe I've heard some songs of hers. But
me
I
neither. I'll
was
be
like,
honest. I did not know.
sorry to that lady. Okay. Well, thanks for being there,
I feel
Christine.
like
You seem
I've
like
seen her face before somewhere, but
right.
I just don't know from where. It's like one of those things.
She looks like somebody.
Familiar.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who, but she does look like somebody. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if many people knew who she was. I mean, maybe they do. I just was not familiar with her off just by name. I will be honest about that. So moving on from the judges, again, they look lovely. We go in to the Rusical, and who did you guys feel like stood out? How did you feel about the Rusical? Any type of commentary. Brandon, go ahead, take it away.
So I know I mentioned this earlier about like how difficult the choreography was, but I think overall, like, it came out amazing. Like, I was shook. I was like, this is the episode that they're definitely gonna submit to the Emmys, because not only was the Rusical good, but we'll get into it later, but the looks were great. So I thought overall it was amazing. The one person that I will say, I mean, they were all good, but the one person that I will say that I was like, wow, she ate that, was Georges. I saw her perform and I was like, oh, like, she came and she's winning that badge. So
Yes, I agree with that. Real quick, shout out to Lena, who couldn't be here for the recording today, but with us in spirit and in the comments, Rue ate this look. Absolutely, Mama Rue ate down. So just wanted to highlight that. And yes, your girl killed it. Your fave killed it, girl. I know you would have been very proud of Miss Georges. What about you, Michael? Who do you feel like stood out? What was one of your
So
favorite moments?
honestly, Georges definitely did, and I do agree with that. But I also think Roxy did fabulous as Pennywise. And Pennywise, that's just so good. That's just so good. Um, Yeah, Roxy really, really stood out to me. And I also think that I would say Roxy, Georges, and Plastique like really did it for me. Because I also just wasn't expecting so much from Plastique either. Like I was like, you know, she surprised us last time with her acting for the what was it again? I'm blanking. Remember last time she was acting and we were all like really like, wow, she did a good job. She surprised us. What was that
The
for?
country one,
The country,
the
yes. So I feel
the
like
real estate one, yeah.
the real estate country episode, but I feel like with this, like she really gave her all, and I feel like she did a really good job. She was surprising to me. But yeah, those would be my top three from the performance. Probably Roxy, Georges, and Plastique.
Vanjie
Okay.
also sounded great as well.
Yeah, she did. It was hard. I don't
Hmm.
know. It's hard when the musical was this good in general. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the girls ate.
Also, shout out to the pit crew member because he held his own too. Like the chemistry between him and Plastique was really good. But yeah, I think we all are in agreement when it comes to Georges being one of the top performers in this musical. Like the embodiment of Megan was so good. The dancing, it was just spot on. I didn't know who was going to be the other top queen of the week, to be honest, because so many people did well. I will say that like yes, Chanel and Angeria, they did maintain full character the entire time. Like every single time I would look in the background, they were doing something funny that just resonated with the character that they were trying to portray. And yeah, I also thought like when Roxy came out in this dang costume, I said, no way that's Roxy. No,
I thought
no way.
I thought it was Nina. I was like,
And
oh,
that
Nina knows how to dance like this. Okay.
this is why I loved Roxy so much. Also, the way she
Yeah.
sounded when she was singing, like it just was so good. And then once she started voguing in the clown costume, I was like, oh,
I think another
love.
thing that added to like the great production element to this was that they weren't lip syncing over somebody else's track. You know, like it was their own voices, which I really appreciated because I truly hate. Like I think last
I
All
hate
Star
it.
season, it was the Joan musical, right? And I feel like they only did it for the songs, but not for the dialogue. I believe that's what the case was. I
Yeah.
can't entirely remember, but I don't like it when it's not their actual voices. I just feel like it's harder for them to also emote and keep up with the words and like obviously again like be able to give these inflections and characterizations and expressions when
I'm
it's not
surprised
their voice.
I'm surprised they didn't just do it like live.
Live
Yeah, like why I guess cuz you're dancing and stuff. I get it. But that's a lot to memorize. Like
a lot.
all of
Yeah.
that was crazy.
And I'm sure they probably filmed it like twice. They ran through it twice and then they obviously cut everything. Another one of my favorite moments that like even though I don't think that she was like in the top was Got Mixed wig spinning. I was like, whoa. And like I was literally Maddie on the panel. Maddie was like, whoa. I literally felt the same way because I said, yeah, production, y'all ain't down with that. That was really good. I enjoyed this musical. It was a really good time. And I will say this, it always feels like some musicals like they drag, but I was like, oh, like it's over? I was surprised by that too.
I was entertained. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, musicals are not my favorite sector of challenges, but this one definitely changed that.
Yeah. I would definitely say I
But now
think
they got to keep it
my
up. So
right. My top 3, I think would have been obviously Georges, Roxy, and I kind of would have given it to Angie. I don't know, like the characterizations that Angie was doing, like it just felt I don't know why Angie was like so against playing this role, but I guess the whole gospel thing, I don't know.
I feel like maybe because Angie always, not always, but for the most part, she's played this role multiple times already. So she
Yeah.
probably was like, I want to switch it up. I want to do something different. I do think
Hmm.
she did well. But I will say, like, Chanel, I didn't know she was gonna be in the top, but I was watching her the whole time. I was like, oh, she's like killing it. Like,
Hmm.
so I
And
was
Chanel knew
happy
all the
with how it
lyric,
ended.
like lip syncing. She was doing perfect. I don't know. I just felt like everybody was in sync. Everybody really did an exceptional job. So kudos to the cast for showing out and popping out and showing. Y'all know the rest, okay? If you listen to that Kendrick song. So it was just a really good time overall. Loved it. So moving on to the Rusical. Of course, Georges says, we ate that. And surprisingly, we actually see the queens go backstage to get ready for the runway, which we don't normally see. But I'm assuming it's because they wanted to set up the conversation where Angeria mentions that the top two queens actually can give the badges to each other. How did you feel about Angeria pointing this out, Michael?
I feel like definitely do it for the plot. Point it out, bring it up. I was into it. Again, anything that's gonna start a little something before the for whoever is crowned winner that night. Like I love it. I'm into it. Stir the pot. Put it on boil. I love it.
I definitely think they should incorporate this though moving forward, just so we get that those conversations before the actual runway. Because sometimes I feel like it's just rushed right after a challenge. But I I like this.
Yeah, I appreciated this too because it just shows the amount of time, like, and effort that they have to like put into like getting ready for the runway after a challenge as such. Um, so yeah, I can only imagine like how it was when they did the makeover challenge. Like they must have been going crazy.
I also feel like this is like prime time, like after a challenge when they're changing, they're talking, they're kikiing, they're like this is good like tea that I would want as a viewer, you know? So I really like them um filming before the runway after the challenge. They should definitely incorporate this in the future.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I also just thought of?
mhm.
Sorry, really quick. What I also just thought of, imagine like a design challenge where they have the three looks and then you see them backstage like rushing to get in these looks. Like I feel like that would be
Yes,
entertaining.
this is what we want
Yeah.
to see. Yes.
Yes. I agree. I agree. All right, so moving on, we're going to the main stage, and the runway theme is "Bring Back My Pearls," which is a play on, RuPaul, "Bring Back My Girls." So we have Plastique. I mean, Michael, please, like,
Tens, 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 tens. So good. So good. Um, again, I'm not surprised. It's Plastique, but it's just at this point, it's like she's done so well, and it just never, she never misses the mark. I mean, this is the most insane package that we've seen on Drag Race, easy in history. Um, I'm excited to see what she does next. I'm always looking forward to it. This was not a letdown by any means. I thought this was really cute, a play on Mugler. Loved the hair, face, dress,
beautiful.
10.
What about you, Brandon? Any thoughts on this look?
I mean, again, it's Plastique. I feel like even in a on a runway where we've seen people, I don't want to say people, but like you know how some people just half-ass it, they're like, I'll just get it over with, whatever. There just hasn't been anything bad. And the one bad critique that we gave her that one episode, it wasn't even bad. It was just like, oh, it's not my favorite, but it was still great. So I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
looks amazing. I think she was definitely one of the top looks of the night.
Yeah, definitely stunning looks as always. Beautiful, beautiful gowns. Um, all right, so we have Jerry. Oh my God, Angie. another one. Oh, A down. Angeria. This was and then when you took off the fucking coat, oh my god, I'm sorry to curse, I am so sorry, but when she took off the coat, even it just got better and better. Like, I love this grand thing. This is drag, this is high drag, okay. What do y'all have to say about this look?
She ate. Like, she came out, I was
Money.
like, wow. I think, yeah, this, like, I don't think I've ever seen her look more beautiful. Like, ever.
I am right there with you. This was her best look for sure that I've ever seen her do. It's Vegas, it's camp, it's drama, it's showgirl, it's pageant, it's stunning, it's ostrich, like it's ostrich feathers, like so good,
Expensive.
just expensive, exquisite, high drag, and I love to see Angeria doing this. Love.
Yeah, I love it. No notes. Okay, then we got Chanel with this futuristic pearl alien thing from the year 3000. Honestly, I was very surprised by this. I did not expect this from Chanel at all. Like, and I liked it, but the only thing, and I saw one of my like favorite YouTubers say this, so I'm gonna piggyback on that, and y'all check him out. His name is Matty Rants. He's amazing. Maddie had said this, but pretty much like I didn't know if I was getting pearls or if I was getting like suds or like bubbles, like a bubble bath. Like it could also be like a bubble
could
bath
see
kind
that.
of. But in general, I was still like amazed by Chanel turning this look out. I'm not gonna hold you. I would have never thought of her to do this type of look. What did you think about it, Michael?
Yeah.
I think she looks like a space alien from the planet Pearl. I love it for her, especially for Chanel. Like, this is really cool. Definitely a different direction than where we've seen her go before. Um, I was shocked by this as well in like the best ways. So go off, Chanel. Love. I thought it was really cool
I
of her to go this direction. Um, yeah, 10. Loved.
I also thought it was smart because when you think Pearl, she probably thought, oh, everyone's gonna do something really pretty and, you know, glamorous. But I thought this was a good direction to go in to kind of stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, I agree. And again, not Michelle. Oh my God, Chanel's face mug is always stamped. Like, no matter how she does it, it always looks really good. And I think this was also like the first time on the runway where like Chanel was a little bit more relaxed with her expressions. Like, she was giving alien down. You know, she knew how to sell it. So shout out to you, Chanel, for thinking outside the box. Like, I'm really proud of you. You did great this episode, and obviously, you know, got your flowers. So moving on, we got Mig. Oh my god, a black pearl. Okay. How did you feel about this look, Brandon? And then I'll go to Michael, since this is his fave, so he could finish it on out.
I mean, again, like, who thinks of black pearls? You want to stand out from the crowd. And this in regular Gottmik fashion was amazing. I thought it was cool to kind of tie it in with the Rusical in a way because it's kind of a scary look as well. But yeah, I think this was a great week for Gottmik. I think she looks great.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think going with the Black Pearl was really different, and I think maybe she did do that to tie it back to the challenge, and that's that. I like if she did do it because of that. Um, was I gobsmacked by this outfit? No, but did I think it was really cool and alien-esque and different and very Gottmik? Yes. And do I think it was done very well? Absolutely. But this was not one of my favorite looks on the runway tonight. It wasn't bad, but wasn't my favorite. She's still 10 out of 10, you know, Mick is Mick,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this was, you know,
Mhm.
passing grade.
No, I liked it. And what I also liked about it was that the suit kind of had like this iridescent like material to go along with it to give it that shine, because again, as we know, black on the runway can be hit or miss. Sometimes you don't really get to see the details, and I just felt like it with the colors and the background, etc., and the runway, it just reflected really well. Definitely a great look for sure for Gottmik as usual. Um, okay, so then we have Roxy. I will say that in this photo, it's not as flattering. I do think that it looked better in movement. I will say that. But in comparison to the rest of the queens, I did not think that it compared to the other queens like runway looks. However, I do think that in movement, it was a lot nicer. And I did like the wig.
Look at you both being realistic about your faves tonight. Good
Hey,
job.
okay.
So I agree with you. I think compared to all the other looks, this was probably the weakest one of the bunch. I still think she looks great. My only critique, and it's just something that always bothers me, for Nude Illusions, I wish they got like the skin tone correct, because when you see that little line, it just throws it off for me specifically. But other than that, like, it's a nice you call this a dress, right? A pearl dress?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a nice dress, and I think the shape of her body looks great as well.
Go ahead, Michael, because I see you there. What you holding
I'm
back
gonna
on?
say no. I'm gonna say no. I did not like this. I did not think it was a strong look, especially like when you saw the lineup of what everyone else did. I will say her performance this episode, amazing. I was rooting for her, and then when I saw this look on the runway, I was like, damn, almost like we were almost there, Roxy. Um, I I didn't love the wig. And I just think there's not enough dress. I just don't think there's enough dress. Like if maybe there was more strands. Because again, I don't want to just sit here and say it's a bad look and not like give constructive criticism. I just wish maybe there was just more, like maybe a full length pearl gown, like something like you know what I mean. I just felt like
Yeah,
this was a nude illusion bodysuit, and then there's some pearls hanging over, and here's a glove, like you know.
I got you. I get.
But
I was just about to suggest that, like maybe if it was like a full length gown, you may have enjoyed it more.
yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Even if it was as spaced out as it was, and you saw a lot of the nude illusion, that's fine. But like maybe just the floor length would have not like it chopped her torso a little bit, and it threw off her proportions to me in my head. And then
Okay.
the hair's flat also, so there's nothing else counterbalancing the proportionizing that was going on. Um, but Roxy girl, I love you.
I
Yeah. No.
will say though, I think I know we're talking about this look, but her Pennywise look, she looked amazing. So I think
Yeah.
coming off of that high and then seeing this
Incredible.
was what,
That
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
makeup, so good. The
Yeah.
hair, the makeup, the outfit, love.
Yeah, the way that they set her up for Pennywise was really good. And yeah, I get what you're saying. I definitely understand what you mean. And I'm kind of curious, like maybe like this was something that she put together last minute. As we know, like some of these queens, they do have these designers that fall through last minute. I'm not entirely sure, but I do get a understand, like in comparison to the lineup, it's not as grand as the others. But she did say that she was also trying to pay homage to season 5 Roxy, where she was showing a lot more skin, etc. So hey. But moving on from Roxy, we're going to Georges. And Georges with the pearls, I thought she looked really nice as well. The color to me, it kind of felt like the pearls were add-ons to the look, but it still was a really nice look. And I did think that the wig for Georges was very different, and I didn't mind that on her. I think she looked really nice as well. How did you feel about this look, Brandon?
I think so the look is I would put it next to Roxy's. It's not like the strongest look. Um, but I will say with the hair, it's it gives me like Frankenstein's wife. Is that what
Yes,
it
I
is?
was just about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she's another one that maybe did this to tie it back into the actual challenge as well. But it's cute. It's nothing like, oh god. I said it was cute when I saw it. You just didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought it was cute for Georges, but again, I did feel like it was like a cute like dress that she bought, and then she added the pearls to it.
Georgia, sugar plum. Where are the pearls? Sweetie, where are the pearls? I mean, the silhouette looks great on Georges. I think even the hair is cool. I just the material on the dress, I know that material. It's like it's not an outer layer material by any means. Like for a garment, it's like, you would use that for like, to line things and stuff. That's fine. That's neither here nor there. I just feel like you mentioned, Keeks, that the pearls were like an add-on, and that's kind of like the point of the runway. So to have the theme of the runway feel like an add-on, not the
Yeah.
best. I mean, she killed her performance. And again, the silhouette is great. I think this shape is fabulous for Georges. Um, yeah. And I mean, not her strongest look by any means, but I don't think she looks bad. I think she looks beautiful. I just think for the challenge, is it giving pearl? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, I mean, runway for the runway, is it giving pearl? I'm not sure.
I get you. I get you for real. Like she met the brief, but yeah, I get it. Okay, so then we go on to Nina. And there's like certain elements of this look that I enjoy, but then I'm like, I don't know.
Really?
Like I like it for Nina, and I hate saying that. Like I do think that the hair is a little bit too small for Nina. I do like on the there's go ahead, Michael or Brandon. One of y'all take it away because I
Okay.
can't
All
put the
right. All
words
right.
together.
Hold on. Because when Nina came out and they showed this look, I was shook that it was Nina. I was like, wow, we are getting so like we are doing this. Yes, Nina. The with the braid glasses on front of her face, loved the drama. The skirt needs to be more full. She should have did full ball gown extravaganza if you were gonna do this shape with with her body type. You know what I mean? You have to play with proportions. That's like, we're drag queens. Like that's the most important thing that you can play with is your own proportions. So I do understand what you're saying by the hair's a little small. The hair is very intricate and it's a good wig, but it does feel a little bit small compared to the grandeur of the dress. Now, if she came out with a petticoat under this skirt and it was a full like ball gown giving like full Marie Antoinette alien pearl princess, I would have loved that. But it's really the skirt, and look at where the skirt is hitting. Like it's just skimming the floor. That's not a good length for a gown, you know what I mean? It shortens you. So her torso seems short, now her legs seem short, and the hair is not adding anything higher. That's what's wrong with this look, but this look is a beautiful look. It's just missing certain elements. Nina, you are almost there. And that's my 3-page synopsis on this look.
I appreciate that. You
No
helped me
notes.
put into words. Okay, no
Yeah, I
notes for
agree
Brandon.
with him completely.
Yeah. I will say there's like a little part, like I wish I could freaking zoom in. A little element where she had like some of the pearls dangling on the waist. It was like you couldn't really see it because it was like so lightly hanging, or like the strings of the pearls, but it looked so pretty. And I wish there was like I don't know, it just brought like a whimsical aspect to the look. Um, but yeah, you set it off
This
for us.
this was
Thank you.
really close. This was really
It was
close,
really
Nina.
close.
This
And
was
honestly, I just
really,
think
really close.
I don't know, like I guess like because I like Nina so much as like with the black wig that I'm like I like this blonde on her
It's
too, but I'm like
different. It's
it's
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me move on from Nina. Nina, you did good this week too, though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you showed your Broadway chops. You did your thing in the Rusical, and honestly, you are doing better on the runway. So shout out to you. And then please, this Virgo's Groove has outfit. Vanjie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I apologize. But Vanjie, this is so good. Oh, I loved it. Oh my god, this actually, between this one and Vanjie's other look with the umbrella and the foxtails. Oh my god, I love it. How did y'all feel about this look? Like, take it away, because
She looks beautiful. Like I feel like, again, every time we see Vanjie, she just keeps on progressing with every look that she keeps bringing out. And I think she might be the next fashion queen. I don't know. Like, she's given us great looks. So when she came out with this, I was elated.
You know what I love about Benji's style is that there's always some element that like makes me feel like I could make that, or I could do that, or I could like she like I feel like in the best way, and it's in the best way. Like, I don't know, what she's been doing this season is just so good. The seashell, like, I don't know. She stepped out from the corner of the runway, and I literally was like, I don't even know what to say. It's showgirl. It's a little campy. It's fun. It's cute. It's sexy. She looks beautiful. Like, she just hit all the marks. Like, I don't know what to say. She is the pearl. Look at her. Like, yeah, Vanjie, it's the face. It's always the face. Like,
and then
so
the
good.
pearl
Such a
detail
good
in the
night.
makeup. I
Yes,
Great
like,
night.
the
please,
makeup, it was
oh,
beautiful.
like, please, cue Virgo's Groove right now. If Beyonce saw this, she would have used this in the Renaissance. Oh my god, like, it's beautiful. I want this, and I don't have nowhere to wear it to. Like, it is just so beautiful, and I love that the back was also rhinestoned and like embellished. Oh, please, like, shout out to the designer. The designer is Alejandro Gomez, Casillas. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but Alejandro Gomez made this. This was beautiful. Oh, and Alejandro also made Plastique's Chromatique look, the Mortal
Oh,
Kombat looking.
wow.
Yeah. Which is like, it looked like it was like 3D printed or whatever. This one.
Good
So
for him.
shout out. Like, honestly, I
Go
kind of want
off.
them to start highlighting the designers on the
That
runway.
would
I
be
think that they
cute.
should
They
add
could
that.
add that into
As
the season along with
yeah,
the backstage getting ready part.
yeah.
I think
And I
those would
also feel like
be
they should add
cute
it
little
with the lower third. You know, when they bring them out, like when they introduce them on the runway, I feel like it should be like designed by, if it's designed by somebody else or themselves, honestly. Just so that the designers can get their shine too. But wow, beautiful, beautiful. It's such a good runway. I'm so happy by this runway in this episode. Okay, so obviously we get some moments with the judges obviously giving the girls critiques. Everyone pretty much got high praise. No one really got any horrible critiques. Maddie says this moment, and you already know I love Maddie down. She's like, I said, God Clement, this girl done stole my heart. And Benji gets a little emotional, like they're nearing the end of the competition. They feel like they're about to graduate again, and they just feel like, you know, really appreciated and loved during this time. And honestly, Benji, you've been killing it with the looks. Like, yeah, you may not have 4 badges or whatever, but you've looked stunning. You did great this episode as well with your performance. So shout out to Vanjie. Like, and you are literally the people's voice. Like, you have been
the
holding it
narrator of
down
the
with
season. Yes.
literally. So moving on from that, we find out that Chanel and Georges are the top 2 queens of the week. Obviously, as we discussed, we really knew that Georges was going to be in the top for her performance because it was just immaculate. Also, Georges looks stunning as Morgan. Did she not? Like, Wow.
She did.
But
Mm-hmm.
Chanel is obviously like gagged, and hello, like so are we. And we're so happy for Chanel too. She's deserving of this. She's really been trying her all to stand out, and it was the perfect week to do so. So then we find out that they have to lip sync in front of the guest judge one of their songs, which is Love Come Home by Christine W. And the girls are, obviously doing their own different styles of the lip sync song. I didn't know how it was really gonna go because, again, I'm not familiar with this song, so I didn't know if it was more towards Chanel's performance style or George's performance style. We have Vanjie on the side. Good. Being the
This was
voice of the
funny.
people. This was hilarious. That I'm cheering, I'm doing everything on the sidelines because I'm trying to make sure they hear me because they're about to be giving these badges out. But Vanjie is funny as hell. And it just also goes to show that Vanjie is playing the game. Like, I'm gonna do anything to get a free badge. How did y'all feel about this lip sync performance?
I think so. Again, like you said, they did two completely different styles of it. For me personally, because I know that they both end up winning. For me personally, though, I think Chanel won. Personally, she fit the vibe of the song better.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, once Georgia hit it was over. I was like, yes. When she started doing that head spin and her hair was flying everywhere, Georgia's got it for me. Chanel did great though. I do think that I kind of feel like it was a fair, equal call for sure. They both gave different vibes, but I think the vibes that they both were giving, they gave it their all. I thought it was an interesting song, but overall a good lip sync, I think.
Yeah. I thought it was a good lip sync. I do think that that's like an issue sometimes with Georges in terms of like emoting the singer of the song. But yeah, I didn't know who it was gonna go to. It was really a toss up for me. So when Rue obviously announced it's a tie, I said, "Oh, mother is feeling generous." Okay, she wants to hand out these badges. She said, "We're gonna level the playing field for sure." And then they have the ability to gift badges to another queen. And surprise, surprise, Georges and Chanel choose one another. And now I will say this, I kind of wish Chanel sat on that a little bit because now Georges, she's in the four
Georges
badge
is at
club.
the top, yup. And it happened
And
overnight.
right, it did. Whereas obviously Chanel's at 2. So I kind of wish like Chanel would have given it to Vanjie. Also has 2, right? Vanjie has 2. Nina has 2. Who would she have given it to? I don't know. But I also feel like Nina also played herself giving the badge to Roxy to begin with. And could have used that moment to give it to somebody else
Because
because
why?
why give it to Roxy? But hey, like, thanks to Angeria for putting the idea in these girls' mind to give each other the badges. And I do think that it was a nice moment, but yeah, she just boosted Georges into the top. So very interesting things. How did you feel about this moment, Michael?
I thought it was like a cute little moment. I honestly, when watching, I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." I guess I wasn't thinking so much like a player game kind of situation. I was just like, "Oh, that's so cute." Like, George is giving Chanel a badge. She hasn't gotten any all season. Like, I thought it was sweet. And then Chanel returning the favor. But then me and Brendan started talking. We were thinking about it. And we were like, "Ooh, now Georges is in the 4 badge club," and she did kind of like she could have given it to someone with less badges, and she didn't. She chose to do what she did, and maybe she wanted Georges in that top 4 group. We only see such a small amount. You don't know how friendly they are with each other, or like what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seemed like they
And
had
she
that
did.
plan though.
Well, she did also say that she heard Georgia say that she would give it to her that like Georges would give her a badge, so Chanel wanted to return the favor. So now the badge, the way it's looking with the badges, Roxy has 4, Plastique has 4, Angeria has 4, right? Yeah, has 4. Georges has 4. Who?
Angeria? I think she has
And
3, no?
no, Angie has 4 now.
Okay.
Angie has 4 now because remember that's why Nina was like, well, why did you cut Gottmik? Or whatever. Gottmik has 3. And then
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Gottmik has 3, and then Nina, Chanel, Vanjie have 2. Did I get everybody? I think so. Yeah. So that's where we left off. Again, exceptional episode. This was really, really good. Lena, who's not here with us today, she's watched the Rusical several times for this to be her first Rusical. And again, shout out to Lena for supporting us in the comments while she's away. And yeah, like I'm very happy with this episode. How did you guys feel overall? What would you rate it? Starting with you, Brandon.
10. I thought this was the best episode this season in terms of just like the overall challenge. I thought it was amazing, and then also just like the looks overall as a package. I thought it was one of the better episodes of this season.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I do feel like this is probably the best episode, I would say, of the season for sure. Just because you got to see everyone shine in like their own way, and that's nice sometimes too. I felt the looks were great, the performance was great. The judges were super like positive, and the judges also seemed pretty surprised by what they saw, and that's always cool to see. Um, yeah, I thought it was a great episode overall. Like, definitely, probably my favorite this season.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Well, that wraps up our recap, y'all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for those that left comments. Of course, Lena. Amazing episode. Love you too, girl. And yes, thank you guys so much for joining us at Reality Unloaded Podcast. Please make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Please get them engagements up. We were a little slow for a little bit, but we're gonna pick it back up. And make sure to follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. And again, please hit that like button. Please be on the lookout for more things to come our way, your way from our podcast. And again, if we're not your faves, we will be. So again, it's your girl Keeks.
I'm Brennan.
Michael.
Brendan, Michael. And shout out to everybody. Thank you again. We had fun. Bye. Peace out, y'all.